Hey, g'day guys, it's Calvin from the Cartoon Company. I'm sitting in the yellow ute for the last time. It's had a big repair, and I have done a full repair video on this vehicle. The customers are going to come pick it up tomorrow, and I'm away sprint boating. So I've organised with someone to be here for them to collect it, but I'm not going to have that chat with them that I'd really like to have after doing a big job like this. So I've got a full repair video, all the dramas, everything's in there. But I thought I'd do a briefer one on the repair of this ute and what we've done. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, watch this one, the whole video. It's got lots of tips and tricks hidden within it, bits and pieces of what we do. I like detail, so I've added a few bits and pieces that in some ways are boring in the video, but it does show some of the stuff that we go through and what's involved in this process. We see a lot of reality TV these days that just isn't realistic. You know, cars getting built in a weekend, and there's a lot going behind the scenes that you don't see. So I try and put a lot of that stuff in. Anyway, a brief run through on the repair on this ute. It came in because it had a pinking issue and no speedo. As soon as you put your foot up it, went over about 2.5 to 3 grand, the engine would just rattle. It was jerky and horrible, but it was really funny the way it drove. Before we did the repair on this ute, I'll just find that little clip of what it used to rev like. So it sounded like this. What do you got? And so that was pretty crappy. Now it sounds like this. We put the timing light on it, and I've done a little video on the timing. And the timing was out by 30 degrees. It was sitting at 40 degrees before TDC. So I didn't think it would restart so well, being at 40 degrees. Turns out it could. And I actually thought it had delaminated the front pulley. So we pulled the front down, had a look at the front pulley. No, that was fine. We had a look at the cam timing, and sure enough, cam timing was wrong. Pulled the front of it and found pieces of ignition rotor all down through underneath the cam belt. So that came to pieces. All the front came to bits. There was lots of oil under there as well. We found a power steer pump that was leaking. We found cam seals that were leaking. We found tappet cover gaskets that were leaking. So we did all those. At the same time, we found brand new rotors in it and brand new distributor caps. So that was kind of suspicious. So what I think's happened, at some point, one of the rotors has disintegrated, and this is why I change the rotors every time I do a refresh, every time I do a cam belt on one of these motors. And the main cam belt kit I sell, I include ignition rotors, and it annoys me a little bit when people don't do them, because I like to do things properly, and I see the damage it does when they fall apart. And I'm about reliability. When I build a vehicle, I want it to look like a standard, look like as factory as I can, and be reliable and work like a factory vehicle, so people don't really know. And that's the look I'm going for. I'm not into flashy pipes. I'm not into lots of shiny. If it can look like a factory vehicle, like Toyota fitted it, then I'm really happy. With the tappet covers off, the wiring loom gets unplugged, injector seals were done, and they always go hard. Again, something I do in every refresh. And with all the clips on the wiring loom being a bit yucky, inside wasn't too bad. This one was actually wired really well, and functionally it was wired correctly. But I gave the wiring loom a bit of a refresh, a bit of a tidy up, and it's actually quite funny because I put braided sleeving on it. The braid looks fantastic, and then we put plastic covers over it. You can't see it, but I know it's good underneath there, and that's what counts for me. So if someone does take those covers off, they can see the braid and they'll go, wow, that looks fantastic. with the leaking power steer pump, and I sell a lot. I do a lot of rebuilt power steer pumps, so we changed the power steer pump. We did the alternator because it was full of oil and wasn't going to give reliability, and we fitted up an oil cooler for the power steer. On the wiring loom, lots of plugs were changed. So I've actually got a box of old parts, and these are going back to the customer. What have we got in here? Oh, oxygen sensors. They weren't working. Cam belt, reliability, it's had stuff go through it. Hate to have that break. Breathers for the fuel tank, gone. There's some spark plugs in here. There's some bearings, seals, knock sensors, water hoses. So there was lots done. So it looks right there, and I really like it at this height. It actually drives pretty nicely, and it stops well. So it's plain looking yellow Hilux ute, but tidy. And under the bonnet, it looks like that. You see the wiring's nice and neat and tidy. I've gone through that front loom. There's a little bit of a hint of braid right there where I've done the back loom, built a new loom going into the knock sensors. Where I couldn't get it with braid, I've used a cloth tape. I've modified that diagnostic box so it works now. I've rebuilt that stepper motor. Of course, that power steer was done. Some new hose on the power steer. Grommets down to the cooler, and the cooler's, you can just see it. It's pretty hard to see, and it'll get a bit of airflow through there. There it is right by my fingers. New antifreeze in the radiator cap. Water hoses off here, you can see that's gone and blanked off properly. Throttle body mod done, so it comes in through there, so that's neat and tidy as well. One-way line to the brake booster. It didn't have one at all, which was kind of a bit funny, so that's sorted. This one has some really nice extractors on it. Oh, and a speedo drive. And I found the part numbers for speedo drives. It's actually something I spend a bit of time fixing, so I probably should do a video on them at some stage. Put all the covers back over, covering up all my wiring. This one wasn't present, so I found one of those. And put some hoses that aren't going to suck in. Inside on this side, it's actually quite nice, this one with these seats. Slightly curved, but not a full race seat. Going to need, I think, a bit of upholstery work just on the outside, but they're going to be really good though. Really quite comfy. And the wiring under here, I've got a check connector to plug a scan tool in, or do some normal testing. And the ECU is again tucked behind that glove box, so that's easy as. In the shifter, I did some bushes, and I'm sure I don't know if I've done a proper video on the shifter bushes, but that's something that I do a lot of. The new seat and the Bosch on the bottom, common as, and I actually keep them in stock. I think it's going to need some big brakes. These brakes are a little bit shuddery. Some big brakes would be nice. We've got a video coming up on that for the van. I've got some brakes for the van we're going to be doing. And this van ute's got a really nice set of headers on it. Quite small tubes, quite long. You do have to remove the headers to get the gearbox out, which is a little bit of a pain. As part of this repair as well, checked the leads, got a new set of spark plugs. They were looking ugly. I did a compression test. The compression test was fine considering the cam timing. I was a little worried. Sorted out the idle. The bottom screw had been backed off. The proper throttle stop had been backed right off, and the top one hadn't been was wound all the way on. It's been a big effort on this ute. It was built in 2005, and it was built really well. The wiring was done well. The job was generally a really good job. But after 14 years, it was definitely in need of a birthday. And it's a little disappointing. to see a ute like this get run down. The present owner, there's a bit of a history with this ute. So his dad owned this ute. His dad bought it off the man who actually did the conversion, and he owned it for a while. I think he might have done the paint job on it, and then he sold it. It's gone through several different hands, and his son's bought it back, and it's going to be a really good ute for his son now. And it's great that we were able to fix it up properly, not skimp, get it sorted. There's some things that the customer's going to do, some things he wants to do himself. He's going to get the warrant on it and bits and pieces, and that's great as well. So it was really cool to give this ute a proper refab. The motor's back going to be reliable. It's going to give years of service to come, and I'm really, really proud of all the work I've done. So if you want to watch the full repair video, I've got that up. If you'd like 1UZ conversions and bits and pieces, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, of course, like the video, and other people will see it as well, and share it with your friends. And I've got to go to sprint boating now, so we'll talk to you later.